time we got together, I had the bay mare working on side passing. And a lot of people want to know about turning around, rollbacks, lead changes. Well, in my little world, none of that can happen unless you've got the forehand separated from the hindquarter. So the last piece of pie for that mare is going to be to disengage her hindquarter when I ask. Now remember, I've been cowboying on her. What that means to you folks that don't know anything about ranching, it means that we gathered a bunch of cows and pregged them. So that means that I've been opening a lot of gates. I worked in the alley, and she did a really good job. So she's already got the concept. What I need to do is to prove to her that she can separate her front end from her back end. Now, in the ranching world, if you can't separate a horse's front and back, it just means you're going to go to ICU. It's just a matter of time. And that's pretty much it. Because what happens is if their feet get stuck at a moment when there's something really big coming at you, or if you're trying to sort in an alley and you can't disengage the hindquarter, then you're not going to be worth a hell of a lot, especially in a wheelchair. And I don't mean to be over dramatic, but I'm telling you, it's dangerous. So the bridle horse, we went over this before. I'm going to be working her like I'd be working a gate, so I'll be in. This is for making a circle. This is for roping. And this is for working the gate, meaning handling. So the stop is just simply drop, open your legs, lean back, back up, forward, stop. And the object for me is to keep my horse bridled up and not be pulling on her. So I want to do the mare first, this bridle horse first, and then show you the horse that doesn't understand it. Maybe that's a good way to present it. Side passing, we've already been over. Now what you want to concentrate is on my left hand. When you side pass, you can't let the feet stop and you can't touch a pole. Oh, and you can't move your hand. So just bear that in mind. And I think some of you are starting to figure out that that's the difference between cutting, reining, rein cow horse, and a spade bit horse. It takes a hell of a lot longer time to do what I'm doing. And if I went to any one of those 3 events, I'm sure I'd be asked to leave. But that's not my point. My point is this is about a bridle horse. That's what this is about. So now with my right shoulder, I'll ask the forehand to walk through the hole. Left leg on, lean forward, displace my weight, walk the hindquarter over, drop my right seat bone, lean forward, flat seat bones, hindquarter around, front end across, prepare to side pass, right seat bone down. Now here's the part everybody gets messed up in. When you get ready to ask for the hindquarter, you have to have your seat bones flat. Boom. Flat on the saddle. This is side passing seat bone. This is side passing seat bone. This is moving the hindquarter because your seat bones stay flat so you don't drive the horse away. Displace your weight by leaning over the forehand. Your right leg goes back an inch, 10 inches if you need it, which you'll see in a little bit. Your left leg is there to block the front foot from going anywhere. So, now I've reached the gap. Do the math that you understand that when you ask for the hindquarter, you got enough room for the hindquarter to make it. Excuse me, that's what it means when you pick your hand up. Lean forward, disengage the hindquarter, front end across, and back on the pole. Left seat bone down, flat seat bones, hindquarter around, front end across, side past the logs. This time I'll go hindquarter through, forehand across, side pass, boom. That's where we're headed with the bay mare. Now once again, when that bay mare gets this figured out, I'm going to hang a bit on her. I'll show you the bit next time. But if you can separate the hindquarter, then you can get set up to do all the other stuff you need. It's just by simply separating the front from the back. Now, something you got to know. I've got a lot of friends that are really good hands. Justin Field, Billy Askew, Ryan Cope. If we talked about all this stuff, they'd look at me like I was nuts. Because they've been cowboying their whole lives and they do it naturally. I just broke it down so that everybody can hear me babble. But understand that those of us that punch cows, the advantage we have is that you're sitting on a horse that's got so much cow in it you got to milk it twice a day. That's what you're looking for. So in reality, when it comes down to working the alley and working cattle, all we got to do is sit up, bridle up our horse, and stay out of our horse's way. All that stuff happens. You can't think quicker than a cow. Sorry. So your horse naturally is going to take over. All you're doing is going with the horse. Okay. Somebody asked about cowboy shoeing. Why? I have no idea. But I'll share with you a couple things. I already told you about leading them through mud, but we'll get serious a minute. Personally, I use 8 nails when I shoe a horse. That's probably why there's 8 holes in the shoe. Okay, the heel expansion myth is bull because there's a long distance between the last nail and the heel. So, as far as I'm concerned, the heel has plenty of room to spread out. The other thing is that when I take the shoes off to reshoe them, hopefully there's still 4. Oh, and by the way, I try to get 12 weeks out of my horses simply because I don't like shoeing. Alright, so I pull the shoes off. The goal for me is to have the hind shoes thinner than the front shoes. If they are, I'm doing my job. If it's the opposite, my horse is still too heavy on the forehand. So that's a clue for you. But I had an Azteca, which you know is an Andalusian crossed quarter horse. And I could almost reset the front shoes, and you could read the paper through the hind shoes. So there is a point there to remember, just a little something to look at when you're messing around with shoeing. But the horse, now watch my torso for the hindquarter. Lean, leg, right leg, missed it, step up, side pass. Lean, and the horse is a pre-signal. You start to lean, the horse goes, got it. There you go.